Hey guys, this is Kayla at Becky's Graphic Design in Nashville, Tennessee. Today we're going to talk about how to catch all of your character styles upon import into Adobe InDesign from your text processor like Microsoft Word. What I mean by that is when you import your book manuscript into InDesign, it's very important that you first catch or label all of your character styles. This is going to be your bold, your italic, your bold italic, your underlined styles. If you do not label them, InDesign will lose those styles and you'll have to fix a really big problem later on down the road. We're going to talk about the manual way of doing this and also how we can accomplish this very quickly and easily with a script. To get started, however, we need to make sure that we're familiar with our document. So let's toggle over to our text processor. Now here is our manuscript for this example. Here we can see that we have our regular body copy, and then we've got some colored text, we've got some italics, we've got, what else have we got in here? Probably some bold, medium it looks like. We've got, yep, there's some bold right there. We've got a whole lot of stuff in this document. And we need to make sure that in the InDesign version of this document, we are maintaining all of that. So this is step one, being familiar with your document. Do not even move into InDesign until you're exactly familiar with what is in your Word document. So now that we're familiar with what we have here, we're going to close our Word document because we can't have it open when we're trying to import it into InDesign. Now we're going to toggle back over to InDesign, and we're going to start a completely fresh document. To do that, we're going to press New File, and let's use inches, thank you. That's going to be a 6x9 novel. Yes, that's fine. That's fine. All of these measures are fine. All right, we're going to go ahead and click Create. Now you'll notice when I have my document set up here, I have facing pages selected, and I also have primary text frames selected. So that means I'm going to have text frames ready to go in the document when we open it. All right, next, to import our document into InDesign, we are going to place our cursor in this text frame. Now you can see this is a primary text frame as indicated by this icon. Something else to note when importing a document into InDesign. Make sure you do not have presets ongoing. What is a preset? A preset is when you tell InDesign every new instance of an object needs to have these settings. So that being said, if we look at our paragraph style panel, we can see that the current preset is basic paragraph. That's good, that's what we want. If you are using somebody else's document or maybe a template or whatever, check this. Check your paragraph styles and your character styles before you import anything. You need to make sure that you don't have something else pre-selected. You know, maybe we had a body style or a bullet style or whatever. If I had a bullet paragraph style selected before I imported everything else, my whole manuscript's going to come in with bullets. We don't want to do that. So we're good to go. We have none and we have basic paragraph selected here. By the way, if your InDesign does not look like mine, check your workspace up here at the top of the screen and switch it to book. All right, now we are going to place our cursor again into our primary text frame, and we're going to go to File, Place. I'm going to select my document. Now I have Smart Text Reflow enabled in my InDesign, which means that it is going to continue to add pages until it gets to the end of the document, until it runs out of content to place. Let's look at what we got going on here. So if we highlight this and then jump over to our paragraph panel, we can see that there is an override on this body style as indicated by this little plus mark. We don't want overrides. Overrides are bad. But for now, overrides are good because those overrides are maintaining those character styles brought in from Microsoft Word. What does that mean? So let's go and look for anything. Say this purple text right here, right? InDesign is considering that an override. What happens if we right-click on our body and clear the overrides? Well, it's going to get rid of those purple lines. InDesign does not recognize character styles, or bold, italics, underlines, etc., the same way that Microsoft Word does, so we have to maintain those. How do we do that? The long way to do it is to use our find and change. Let's take, for example, this italic line. So if we open up our find change with Control F, we're going to use the GREP tab. And what we're going to do is find format. We're going to look for all instances of italic in the basic character format section. So we're going to look for the style of italic, and then we're going to change that format to italic. Now I'm noticing, however, we're going to have an issue here because this typeface, Archer, they use, look at this, book italic at the top of the screen. So italic by itself is not going to work for Archer. So instead what I'm going to have to do with my find change is find the format book italic. And change it to a character style of book italic. And looks like we're going to have to make a new one. So we're going to call this book italic. Very good. Yes, that's fine. I don't really want it based on anything. All right, now, finally, once we click OK, now you're going to see that we're looking for book italic, and we're going to replace with the character style of book italic. So we're going to click Find Next, start from up here, and change. Now, visually, nothing happened, but what happened on the code side? Now, if we look at our character style panel, now we can see that this line has been applied book italic. Before, this line had a character style of none. When we override all styles, now we can see that that book italic is maintained. Now the trouble with this method is that we would have to do this for every single instance of every single style. Well, not every single instance, but at least every type of style. So we would have to do this for bold. We would have to do this for bold italic. We would have to do this for underlines. We would have to do this for anytime we have this purple or orange thing going on. Anything that is an oddity within a paragraph is a character style. And in order to change and find all of them into InDesign character styles would require probably a good 30 to 40 minutes of work. There's a quicker way to do this. Now, let me take you over here to creativepro.com. This is a website that's a great resource for InDesign users. This particular article is about a specific script called PrepText. It was originally written by Jongware. He's a very famous InDesign scripter. If you've ever used scripts, you probably have some of his in your repertoire. Jongware's script was then modified by Peter Carlén, another famous scripter, and created a really great product. All we need to do is launch this script, and it's going to do all of that work for us that we would otherwise be doing manually. If you're not sure what a script is, or the thought of it scares you, don't worry. A script is kind of similar to running a Photoshop action. It gives InDesign additional features that it doesn't normally have built in. If you need help learning what a script is or how to install a script, go check out my other video over here. Now for this script, I will place the download link down below in the description, but this is the URL up here at the top where you can find this script, and here are the download links at the bottom. Now when we download this script, we're going to extract it from its folder. Let me just go ahead real quick and do a brief run through of downloading and installing this script. So I'm going to download the zip folder. Now in my downloads folder, I'm going to extract this zip folder. I'm going to extract all. Yes, that's fine. What we're looking for are these two JSX files. These are essentially text documents that run an action in InDesign. Now what we need to do is grab these and the main prep text one. We're going to grab all three of them. We're going to cut these and we're going to put them into our InDesign scripts folder. The quickest way to find your scripts, if you already have them open, is to right-click on any script in your script panel and say Reveal in Explorer. Now you can see in my computer, I have, this is the location of my scripts. It's in Adobe InDesign 2026, Scripts panel, Samples, and JavaScript. On your machine, this is more likely to be in your C drive under your program features. But for my machine, this is where this is. Now I'm going to paste in all three of those scripts. I already have these scripts, so I'm not going to again. Simply going to let it skip those files. Good. Right now, when we go back to InDesign and we look at our scripts panel, which, by the way, if you can't find your scripts panel, go up to Window, Utilities, and Scripts. Open up your scripts panel. So what do we need to do to run our script? Number one, I will tell you that I deleted all of the character styles that came in from Microsoft Word in my document. This is a specialty thing for my document. In yours, you're probably not going to have anything over here in the character styles panel. Those were left over from an old document. So just be aware that the only thing we've generated so far by hand for this document is book italic. Now we're going to ask our script to generate the rest. So let's go and see. Okay, this is a good page to look at. So all you need to do is put your cursor into your story or your flow of text. All of my whole document is flowed together in the same text flow, so I can just put my cursor here. Now in my scripts panel, I'm going to run PrepText.jsx. Now we can look at, oh, there we go. See, there's our character styles panel. Now the script has gone through and added for us the bold. It added, there's our book italic, yes. I think there's a bold italic nearby. Ah, yes, there's the bold italic, perfect. Other than that, that's about it. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Hope you found this helpful. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment. It really helps us out. And remember, I did post the link to the script below. You can download there. Shout out to John Ware and to Peter Carrell, always the best of the best when it comes to scripting. Those two guys have saved me a lot of time throughout the years, and I very much appreciate them. All right, everyone. That's it for today. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.